Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So, Libra, I'm doing a reading as usual with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So, Libra, you're coming through this reading as a very wise, mature, and grounded being, individual, with mature decisions to make. And I feel like the wisest decision that you're making for yourself right now is to wait, especially because there are so many moving parts and so many unknown factors, especially coming with the lunar eclipse that is happening on Tuesday. So, because we have the moon card here, that's why I'm mentioning the lunar eclipse. So we are just, a couple of days from that lunar eclipse, and maybe collectively, for the most sensitive ones, we're already picking up on all of the changes that are going to be brought up by this eclipse. And so in your case, Libra, from the cards that I'm seeing here, your message is talking about keeping your mature self ahead. It's like, let your mature, grounded self make the decisions, at least for the moment being. Because we're beginning with the King of Pentacles. And what I heard with the King of Pentacles was actually part of a saying that I believe it's an expression, a phrase, or, a common saying in English that is, keep your feet to the ground while your head is on the clouds. So feet on the ground, head on the clouds. But the thing about this phrase is that because it's the King of Pentacles, the last part about head on the clouds was almost muted. So basically the focus in this phrase, in this saying, is keep your feet on the ground. And so your head is like, as much as your feet are planted in the ground, Libra, at this time, it's like, don't allow your mind to drift too far off, because now is the moment to be here, present now. And I want to say, like, even, more mature, more responsible, more accountable for your resources, your body, your home, your work, your finances. Because with the Six of Pentacles coming next, I feel like this approach of being mature, being grounded, it's like you won't lack anything. You will have enough money, enough resources, enough, whatever material needs you need, right? It's like you will have enough. You won't have much, right? It's like, it's not like this very abundant, overflow of cash or, of opportunities. It's like enough. But if you keep your feet on the ground, so this is a moment to make wise and mature decisions, because maybe the resources are not as bountiful or as plentiful as they were, or as you expected that they would be, right? It's like what is coming in, it's just enough. So this is what you have to keep in mind. So, from that phrase, like, just focus on the first part about keeping your feet to the ground. Keep yourself grounded, stand your ground, and make wise decisions, especially in terms of financial, work-related decisions. Because in practical terms, it's like maybe you're dealing with a moment of not scarcity, right? It's not a mentality of scarcity or lack, but just limited resources, you see, that are enough to keep you going, right? With the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like this is very clearly saying that if you keep your feet on the ground, you will be able to, go by this phase of incredible change that is perhaps coming with the lunar eclipse that I'm going to show you later on. But I feel like this is the moment when you have to be careful and cautious not to make foolish decisions because of the Fool card that is coming here. But actually, let me show you already the second card coming next, because with the Magician's hat here, I feel like, it's almost like you are being very responsible, very grounded, very mature. It's like that if you put on the Fool hat or the Magician hat, it's like either one, it's like you will have, well, different results, perhaps different outcomes, or just different perceptions, different perspectives of this moment. And I feel like there is, this very big contrast between the Fool that is, in this case, in the contrast here, is coming through as a little bit naive, instead of the Magician, who is coming through as a lot more how do I say, masterful in dealing with whatever resources there are at hand. So there is something about putting on different hats, experimenting with different possibilities, but not being fool or not being manipulative. It's almost like you're choosing among the different hats that you have, the different perspectives that you have towards this moment. You are choosing to wear the crown of the King of Pentacles, which is, I want to say, a very human perspective. It's almost like the contrast between these two major arcana hats or perceptions or points of view is that both of them are very, it's almost like they're very wide, they're very broad, they're very cosmic. Often to me, the difference between the court card figures and the major arcana is that these are able to perceive from these wider universal points of view, whereas the court cards are very human, are very embedded here in this 3D reality. And so I feel like among the options that you have, Libra, it's almost like you could be a fool. You could be bold and, risk it all in a sense, or you could be maybe manipulative or just resourceful perhaps, but in a very risky way too. But still, I feel like you're not going for either one of these two because you're choosing to wear this crown of responsibility, of maturity, of groundedness. And I feel like you're wise enough, because it's almost like, remember, the complete phrase is feet on the ground, head on the clouds. At least this is how, I'm not saying that this is, the proper saying, it's just what came to mind. But as I said, it's like the second part of head on the cloud, which could be, you considering these two perspectives, because these two perspectives are out there, are these, cosmic, broad visions. So because you're choosing to keep your feet on the ground and also your head here in this 3D reality, it's almost like you are, giving away, in a sense. It's like you're not choosing these options. Basically, these hats, these perspectives, you are passing on them, at least for now, because of this. The Moon card here, Libra, is talking about the lunar eclipse. So whether you know a little bit about astrology, about, the alignment of the planets, about, the moon cycles and how they work or when they're going to happen, basically this Moon card here is coming to, to congratulate you in taking the right approach or being responsible enough. And it's almost like analyzing very critically, very maturely, these possible hats, meaning these possible visions, and understanding that both of them have very secretive or unknown factors to them, each one of them, both the Fool and the Magician, right? With different approaches, yes, but still unknown things that for you are very mysterious. For you, they're very still abstract, it's too distant. And that's the reason why with your feet planted on the ground, and so it's like your whole being is here, right? Very practically oriented to deal with financial things, with work issues, with practical terms, with your 3D mundane life. And so because of that, everything that is unknown, although it could be, a very pleasant surprise that this lunar eclipse brings because of this Seven of Cups, that is coming through as a good surprise, something that maybe you're not expecting. Because as I said, it's like you're dealing with things in such a practical way with the Six of Pentacles. It's like you're managing your resources with a lot of responsibility, with a lot of maturity. You're choosing to stay grounded, to stay here, in this reality, instead of, drifting off into the cosmos. It's almost like, yes, there's a lot of manifestational potential here with the Magician. There's a lot of novelty. There are a lot of perhaps, new opportunities with the Fool. But because of this Moon card, it's like, there is this other phrase that is coming to mind. It's almost like you are, how was it? Like, you are hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, and ready to embrace whatever comes your way. This is something actually that a long time ago I heard, and it just stuck with me because I feel like it's such a piece of wise words and wise way of seeing the world, right? So I feel like this is the approach that you are taking on now, Libra, like a very wise, mature way of perceiving your physical reality, your life in general, your 3D, maybe work life, maybe home life. It's like, that if you drift off and experiment with these two different hats, that yes, they hold a lot of potential, but you have no idea what's about to come. What are the surprises that the lunar eclipse are bringing? So yes, you are hoping for the best, and yes, you could be, pleasantly surprised by what this lunar eclipse is bringing. But until you know for sure, until you see, or until Tuesday comes, until the lunar eclipse finally, occurs, it's like your approach is to wait, with the Four of Swords here ending your reading. So, even if you do have, the chance to make a bold decision wearing the Fool's hat, or, kind of like manipulate the energy to manifest whatever you want, that could be extremely successful, it could be extremely abundant, or not, right? So it's almost like, if you don't have the certainty, because this is basically your concern right now, it's like security, safety, stability, something that is for certain. It's almost like you want guarantees from the universe, right? And so because the universe is not granting you any type of certainty, it's almost like, so, okay, instead of going to the cosmos, I am going to wait for the lunar cycle to reach its peak with the lunar eclipse. And also I'm going to wait to receive and embrace whatever comes my way, whatever is coming, because it's almost like, yes, you do hope for the best, but you don't know exactly what to expect. So your very conservative approach in waiting for the lunar eclipse to hit and to bring whatever comes your way, it's like, it feels like the the most wise and mature decision that you can make at this moment, Libra. And I feel like this is something that you're well aware of, because otherwise it's almost like you wouldn't be given these two different hats if you weren't aware of the, not the consequences of each, but just the differences, right? How each one of them bring different perspectives, bring different visions of your own reality. But dealing with your reality from these two major arcana perspectives is almost like it's too big to deal with so little energy. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's almost like the best way in dealing what you have at hand, you know, maybe limited resources, is like understanding how to use it from this standpoint. Because if you were to use the Six of Pentacles either from the Fool's perspective or the Magician's perspective, with so many mysteries still unanswered, still you know, occult, it's like yes, it could be incredible. It's almost like, you know, it could be everything that you ever wanted, or not. It could be, you know, the opposite thing, right? Whether you choose either one of these hats. So choosing to wear this crown of responsibility of like stick to the mundane, stick to the practical, give yourself the time to, it's almost like to analyze very critically, very practically. It's almost like, you know, create this spreadsheet, you know, go item by item because of the Six of Pentacles, right? It's like, and it's almost like just go through it all, go through every single thing that you have around you at this moment that could be very it's like, it's almost like every single thing that you have right now that could be, you know, a lot more limited than before, a lot more restricted than before. It's like still they hold a rich potential for you, but you have to use it wisely. Otherwise, it's almost like it's going to, it's like that. It's going to become also something that you don't know what's going to come. But so it's almost like you don't know what's going to come either way, whichever hat you decide to wear. So from this perspective, it's almost like you have a more grounded, a more eye-to-eye level with what you have. You know, it's not like this very distant, far off cosmic understanding, which it's almost like you have to have the more denser perspective. And so you're waiting for what is not dense at all, what is, you know, out there in the cosmos to align perfectly to bring about what it has to come for you. It's almost like you're not attached to what is going to come for you. It's like you're ready. You know, to me, the Seven of Cups is the card of an embrace, like an actual hug. So it's almost like you're ready to embrace whatever comes your way. It's not a question of what is coming. It's just a question of waiting for it to come. So it's like you're taking this very wise again and mature stance, Libra, just to wait for the things that you are not aware of to play out, right? And you're just receptive, you're open to embrace it. So you're dealing with what you have and waiting for what's to come, to arrive. And perhaps it could arrive sooner rather than later, because we do have the lunar eclipse on Tuesday. So a couple of days from now, if you're watching this today. So today, when I'm posting this, obviously. So I feel like you're very grounded, and that's a good thing for the moment. So I am going to pull more cards for you, Libra, to see where this wants to go next, or perhaps what is coming your way. And also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.